Hi there, and welcome to this video of me running the Constantia Greenbelt Park Run route. So we are off, and just beware, you'll notice there's no seating here, and it's not like in a little channel. You stand in a long line across the field, and everyone just basically storms across the field and then condenses into the smaller part here. So yeah, beware. They also don't really they do the announcements and then it's 3, 2, 1, go. So if you are a foster runner, make sure you are standing in front and listening carefully, because otherwise you do get bunched up like this at the start. So you'll notice that this trail is completely trail run. So there is some difficult parts, but also some flat parts. And we immediately start with a little bit of a hill climb and then a little downhill. And as you can see, we congest quite a bit here in between the trees before we go on to our next uphill run. Now this part is a bit of an incline, but what makes it extra difficult is you can see all the roots. So you have to be focused. So you're trying to pass slow runners and try not to trip yourself up and fall. I have seen many people fall here. In winter time, it is even more difficult because then it does get a little bit muddy as well. So next we loop around and now we are going to go back downhill. Now it's even tougher because now you want to pick up speed. So you got to look even more carefully where your feet are landing. Luckily, if you do fall, it's a lot of pine needles. It's a soft landing. It's not like falling on top. And as we loop back, you're going to notice that we merge with the people coming up. So you can see them on the right-hand side. And again, luckily most runners, they stick to the left. So you are okay here. But again, sometimes you get an idiot who don't look out where they're going. But otherwise you are fine. So this is obviously the first part. So a tough little incline section to start with. So don't start too fast out of the gate. You'll notice a lot of people are running with their dogs. The one thing I don't really see here compared to other park runs is people with prams, because as you can see, it's a little bit harder, but lots of people with dogs. Now we get back to the start point. So we started in this field on the right-hand side. You'll see the flags in, and people are spread out across that whole field there, just what I was talking about earlier. But from here on, it is relatively flat for quite a few kilometers. So you can now lack up pace yourself. Footing is quite secure, so it's not sandy or anything like that, and you can actually run a decent pace here. Fun fact, the fastest time here is around about 17 minutes. I'm nowhere close to that, but it is possible. It is beautiful though, as you can see, because we kind of run in the forest, and in summertime it's a nice park run to do because most of it is in the shade, so you don't suffer as much from the heat like some of the other park runs. Beware, this is a public park, so there are local people walking their dogs, walking their prams. There's even lots of times people on horseback, so just be aware of that. Obviously it is a residential area, so yeah, we got to always remember that there's locals as well that's running around here. With that said, I do recommend coming through a little bit earlier to find parking space, because parking is quite limited here, and you're not allowed to park on the curbs because obviously it's people's lawns and their property. So if you come a little bit later, then you have to park quite a little bit away, but there is a little parking space about 500 meters away where lots of cars can park. But if you don't want to walk that warm up and cool down, then make sure you get there a little bit earlier so you can get parking closer to the track. Now, as you can see, this part nice and straight, quite easy going here. So it's not a problem, nothing much in it, and quite easy to pass people. I must note there's also a coffee truck here that's here every Saturday, and the coffee is quite good. So if you're into that, you can have that. Otherwise, the Constantia village is quite close by, where there's a Mug and Bean, a Vida Cafe, and that's where we see most park runners afterwards as well. So you can see by that little bit of water, sorry, I had to blow my nose. That happens when you're a runner. Unfortunately, I had to capture that on camera. But yeah, if you saw that little puddle there, you can understand what I mean. In winter time, it can get a little bit muddy and not so lekker when you are running. Now we get into a part where it does condense, and it goes into a little bit of a almost single track, where we are going to be loop, and you can see it's a little bit difficult to pass some of the slower runners. And we go across this little bridge, and I always take the racing line, so the shortest route, but it is a little bit of a steep little up climb, that one. And now we go on our way back. This part is a little bit sandier, but it's not soft sand, so you still have very steady footing underneath to run. So Constantia Greenbelt Park Run, as this was the 414th run, and so they've been around for quite a while, and they average between 400 and 500 runners per park run, but obviously winter's a little bit less and summer a little bit more, but it's a nice little run, and the people are quite nice on this run, so I do recommend it. Now this part, we're going to split up. So that guy is the front runner, he's just lapped me. And we're going to go left, and we're going to do a circle. So we're going to do another round. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because now you start catching up with all the slow runners. And unfortunately, you will see not everyone keeps left, or, they want to run 3, 4, 5 abreast. So that is a bit challenging. It's the only part that is a little bit tough. But yeah, so we do a loop here. So don't get excited the first time if you see the 3K mark, because that's not technically the 3K mark. It's only the second time you go around. Now we get back to this little part that gets congested. So now it gets even more congested. And just try and shout people to keep left. We're passing right. And you'll see we go back across this little bridge. Now this section here, lots of times we see people on horseback. There's actually some horse, what you might call it, not stable, yeah, I suppose stables and pens along this side, but yeah, you have to be walking to be able to spot it. But there obviously is these people on horseback as well, but they do try and make sure that obviously they don't interfere with the park run and for everyone's safety. But obviously steer clear of the horses and be safe. And as you can see, lots of times you have to go off the track to pass people, unfortunately, and just time it right. And now the second time, we're not going to go left, we're actually going to go straight. So we do one loop, go left, and then the second time we go straight. And now you're going to see when we go straight, this part is the toughest part of the track. It is quite an incline, and I don't recommend running up here, rather just walk it. So luckily it's quite short, but it is hectic little incline that can kill your legs quite a bit. And now This section, I have to blow my nose again. Sorry, guys. It was one of those days. But yeah, now we have lots of little ups and downs happening. We have little sections with routes again. So again, it's a little bit of a more technical part of the track. Again, I personally prefer these. I love the more technical running than the plain just on the road. But a lot of my friends, they again don't like this one because of this, and they prefer proper road running. It's up to you. It's up to you which one you prefer and which one you like. Unfortunately, park run rule is your dog must be on a leash, but you know, people walking their dogs, the locals don't always do that. So just be aware of that. And there we hit the 4K mark, and now we're going to go for our last kilometer. You see some narrow little parts that you have to be aware of, and check. Oh, I had to sort something out of my phone there because it was falling out of my pocket. And you can see, so it's some thin parts, some tricky parts here that you have to keep up. If you're walking, obviously it's easy. And to the right here is some of the horse pens. And then we go left, and we don't think we're close to the finish line because it is on the left hand side, but no, we still have quite a little bit of a distance to go, about another 800 meters. So we're back. There's the finishers. The fast guys are coming back. And now we're going to go right again. Earlier we went left, now we're going to go right. And now we're going back up the way we came down right at the start. So last bit of forest run again. A lot of roots. Another little incline here. Then we go over the dam wall, but I've never seen water in this dam, in all honesty, but it's the remnants of it still there. And a sharp little left here at the end, so make sure of your footing. And of course now the tough part, a nice downhill from here. If you have the energy, then push it, but it is still quite a bit to go towards the end line, finish line here. And we are into the last straight little bit here to the finish line. So my ratings for this park run, so for difficulty, I would give it about a 6 out of 10. And that is purely because there is some difficult parts, but a lot of flat parts as well. So yes, organizing, about a 7 out of 10. And again, just because at the start it can be a little bit crazy, but otherwise the marshals and everyone is brilliant. Route beauty, 8 out of 10 because it's just so gorgeous. And my overall rating is 8 out of 10 for this park run. Well, thank you guys for joining me on this one. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope to see you at Constantia soon. And please keep an eye out for my next park run video that I will be doing. And go and have some fun and keep running.